excited about that I wanted to talk to all of you about high need areas. So special education, bilingual education, and all the STEM areas, those are very high need. So that's why a lot of you, when you said, I want to be a math teacher, I was like, yes, because we need more math teachers. And I will tell you, you will get a job very quickly. You will definitely get a job very quickly because you guys are needed. Now, some of you I know talked about, well, I want to be an elementary school teacher, but maybe I'm thinking about going into, the middle school, high school level. Well, if you're interested in math and science, we do have two particular credentials that you might actually like. One of those credentials is called foundational level math. So with this particular credential, you just teach up to Algebra 2. So you teach Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry. So it's a great option for those who aren't interested in teaching maybe calculus and pre-calculus. And what you can do with that particular credential, because again, the credential is called foundational level math credential, is you can add that on to your multiple subject credential shortly after. And we do have a program specifically for math that they'll pay for the CSET for it, and they'll pay for the couple methodology courses that you have. So it's a pretty cool option, and it allows you to be even more marketable. But I will say, the other thing is let's say you're not interested in doing elementary school teaching, but you're still interested in math, but you don't want to do the calculus and trigonometry. You can do that credential as what we call a standalone credential, meaning you can just apply to have your foundational level math credential, which is great. And the thing is even though that credential was catered towards middle school, because it was really created for that, we all know that you can teach all the way up to Algebra 2 in high school. So if you're still interested in high school, you still have that option, which is really nice. The other one is foundational level science. So it's all those integrated sciences that you would be learning, so like the physical science, the earth science, life sciences, those types of sciences. So if you're interested in that, and you're not interested in doing like the biology, chemistry, even though technically all of those have that within it, but these are a lot more detailed, I guess I would say, with the other types of sciences. That's another credential, again, that you can add on to your multiple subject credential, or like I said, with the foundational level math, you can have it as a standalone credential. Now that specific one is going to be catered really more towards middle school, because I think in high school, the highest it really goes is you can probably teach earth science in 9th grade, and that's probably it. So just kind of FYI with that, but you definitely have a lot of different options. And again, yes, you still do have your regular math credential where you're teaching not just all the way up to Algebra 2, but through calculus. And then again, with your sciences, you'll end up choosing, whether you want to do biology, chemistry, physics, geological sciences. You can do that as well, but it's 9th through 12th grade, not just specific to middle school, like I mentioned. I'm going to kind of go back up to special education. Special education is another very high need. Like in California, it's tough. I mean, I was just talking to one of the faculty members the other day, and they were just saying how much of a struggle it is to get students to get into special education. And a lot of the time, it's because they don't really know about it. A lot of people that are in our program, they're coming back to school, or maybe they have been in the community college for a while, stopped, and now they're coming back to our university, and their child either is a special needs child, or they have another family member or somebody they know, or they were already working in the field. That's a lot of our special education teachers. So we just don't want those people that have those particular connections. We want everybody to be able to be open to be interested in helping children with special needs, because it's needed. And there's different ways. Again, you have mild to moderate, that's one option. And then there's moderate to severe. So moderate to severe, I'll go back to mild. Mild to moderate is more of, I guess you can say, intellectual disabilities. It's mild. It's not as much. Those children will most likely be still in regular classrooms, but they'll just need some assistance. Where when you're talking about moderate to severe, not only is it intellectual disability, but there's physical disabilities. There may be some behavioral issues there as well, because they're going through all these things, right? So, get a little upset or things like that because it's just so much going on and it's hard. So, being able to find the right path, what I would encourage students who are interested in special education is start interning. Maybe you want to get a job. The department definitely encourages students to become instructional assistants within the K through 12 system. Go to edjoin.org. That's edjoin.org.
They're hiring right now for instructional assistants, and the deadline is the 27th for that.
Cool. What school?
That's for the Centralia School District, so kind of around us right now.
Cool. Very cool. We'll see. Networking with your peers. Do you have a question?
To be, sorry, go ahead.
No, you first.
Oh, to be like that like teachers aides for like the low grade, like first, second, third. I know that a lot of schools ask for different things. Is there kind of like a base that you could just let us know so we can get those, so we can start like the experience?
Right. So
like full classes.
Certain things, I mean, from what I read, and I'm not a career specialist, so I will throw that out there, but from what I've read, because I've read the description of those jobs, a lot of the time, you don't have to have a lot of experience. Some of them want you to have an AA, or a certain amount of units. Others may just want you to get certain things like TB testing, because a lot of schools that you go to, you have to have TB testing. I'm trying to think what are some of the other things.
Sometimes they say like, it's like driver's license, you're gonna get a vehicle inspection, and then you don't have to have like your CPR certification before you get hired.
But you'll have to have it eventually.
Yeah.
So there are things like that
Okay.
that are required, but those are things that you can work on. They're not, I wouldn't say they're not necessarily always educational, but sometimes they are. So sometimes they do want you to have a certain level of, let's say, child and adolescents development courses, or just not even that, just a certain amount of units within the university or within the community college. So that's kind of, I would say, those options.
Yeah. I did have a question. I was just going to kind of interject. One thing, even if you're not interested in teaching special education, if you're in the classroom, the likelihood you're going to be teaching special ed, like a student with special ed, is highly likely, more often than not. So even if you don't, go into special education as your credential, realize that you are still going to have to make those modifications, like by law, like that's your job. And also, you're going to have to learn about how you meet those needs, because, that's your job, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, it is your job. And so just to kind of keep that in mind, that you don't get to evade it, special education, just because you're not credentialed in it.
Right, and that's why I mentioned kind of like when those of you who want to maybe be mild to moderate teachers, those, again, you may be more going to classroom to classroom, just assisting those students, but they're in a classroom with everyone else.
Right.
So, and I think within education right now, like Alicia said, those things are starting to change. Like, it's more of those students because, again, the need, and there's not a lot of special education teachers out there, they're going to be more in the regular classroom. So just be prepared for that, and then maybe take some special education courses. We have a lot of different lower and upper division special education courses at our university, but I believe here you guys probably have, I don't know what the course is called. Do you guys have a special needs?
It's not really. We have like child psychology, and that's kind of what some of the basically the chat, the equivalent. But we don't have child development on our campus.
Got it.
So that kind of like evades. But I think there's like 2 courses that are within that realm that would satisfy that.
Okay, yeah. And again, if you don't get it here, you can definitely receive some of those courses in that education at our school.
Or at Fullerton too. Fullerton College, if you guys want to go to their campus, they have all of the child development courses. All of the ones that she's kind of explaining will kind of give you that leg up. Right. So that's another option for you guys.
And the last one I just wanted to mention really quick is bilingual education. How many of you are bilingual? Okay, that's a good amount of you, right? So utilize that. Start perfecting that. Maybe you want to minor in whatever language it is that that you know, because you may know the language, but you might speak it, more in a slang way, or maybe you don't really understand. Maybe you do speak more of it in the quote unquote proper way, but on an academic level, you may not understand that. We do have a person by the name of Fernando Rodriguez Valls that's at our university, and he actually helps community college students as well as our university students with kind of assessing them and seeing where they're at. So if you are interested in reaching out to him, just let me know. I'll give you my card and email me, and I'll give you his information. But he's a great person to be able to help assess you, because like I said, he'll help community college students as well, because you might need to take some of those courses. If you can take them for less here, and then, maybe you want to minor in whatever language it is once you get to our university. I will tell you, the bilingual authorizations that we have are for Spanish, Korean, Mandarin, and I feel like I'm missing something else.
Sign language?
No, there's another one that I know I'm missing. I just can't think of it off the top of my head for some reason. If it comes to me, I'll tell you, but Spanish, Mandarin, Korean, and I know there's another one, but again, it's just kind of slipping my brain right now. All right, so now I'm kind of getting towards the end of my presentation. This part I'm gonna go through pretty quickly because of time, but this is our College of Education page. So feel free to go through this page, browse it, look at our credential programs where it says prospective students. You can click on there, you can look at our credential programs, look at our master's programs, and do all that great stuff. But again, the Center for Careers and Teaching page, obviously, that's going to be our page mainly for our undergraduate students. But please feel free to take a look at this page. So just kind of so you can understand what we are committed to as a college. So we're committed to having educators, because again, like I told you all, I'm an educator, you all are educators as well. You're going on to that route and becoming educators because you're teaching in some form. What I'm doing right now, I'm teaching you guys, right? But it's just in a different way. I'm not a traditional teacher. So when we say educators, because we're part of the College of Education, so it's not just credential programs that we have. We have master's programs, we have educational doctorate programs, we have certificate programs. So we have other things just besides teaching credentials. So educators, we want educators to be just, equitable, and inclusive. That is huge for us. We definitely, I will say, it may sound a little harsh, but we don't want students that aren't about that, because we live in a diverse world. We live in a diverse society, and in California, we are very diverse. There's more demographics of all types of people, and not just in regards to what people look like, but in regards to disabilities, in regards to sexuality, all of those things. So we want everyone to be able to know that, hey, it's okay to be different. It's okay not to look like someone else. I want to be able to help all people. So those are the types of students that we want. So if students aren't like that, then we would say maybe our program isn't the program for you. But if that's what you're about, then we say, come on, let us help you. Let us help you learn and learn more about that. Or maybe, you know what, maybe you didn't grow up in a very diverse community, but you want to learn more about that, and you want to be all of those things. So we'll help you learn how to be that way, okay? And then again, we want to make sure that, again, we're diverse and interconnected, so we keep our students diverse and interconnected with each other. This is just a whole bunch of cool facts. We have about 1,200 students that we graduate per year. We are ranked very high within employers. We have so many teachers that come out of our university. It is ridiculous. I believe we are considered the highest ranking, at least Cal State, within the state of California, that brings out teachers into the working world. So that's huge, especially within Orange County. Like when we send out our teachers, to do their student teaching and things, most of those teachers went through our teaching credential program. We are accredited by the National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Education, so that's big. It's a nice prestigious accreditation organization there. And then for our different programs, these are all the different programs that we have. I just want to kind of point out our combined programs. We have a multiple subject combined master's and credential program. I kind of talked a little bit about those combined programs earlier. That program is focused on curriculum and instruction, so that's an option for you if it's something to just start, thinking about. It's about a 16-month program. One thing that I didn't mention about the traditional 2-semester program, most students don't work because it literally is a full-time job. And like I said, our program isn't one of the programs to where it's like more flexible. We have an option to have 3 semesters, but a lot of the time, unless you put it on the application, if you don't put it on the application that you're interested, we won't know, and then we'll end up with only 5 students interested in that, and it's not enough students for us to go forward with that type of program. So for the most part, it's 2 semesters. Most students don't work. If they do, they work on the weekends. Some try to squeeze it in at night and then realize it's too much. So just to let you know, but when we talk about this combined program, like that's no work because it's fall, summer, well, fall, spring, summer, fall. There's no break, other than maybe like a little quick winter break, but it's pretty intense. The same thing with our secondary combined master's program. There are specific majors for that, and I don't have all the majors, but I can tell you some, like our English and math, science, but it's not all the secondary education credentials that are part of this credentialing combined program. But that's really more about culture and linguistics, so like bilingual education, trilingual education, all of those things. And then we have, if some of you are interested in higher education, we have a very awesome higher education program. We have a master's in reading and literacy, that's fully online. We have a special education master's program. And then the other thing is we have 2 doctoral programs. One focus on pre-K through 12 in leadership, and the other focus on community college leadership. So I want to say thank you all for having me, and we just have a few more minutes because I know we kind of were talking and having questions in between, but do you guys have any questions for me? And if you want my business cards, I'll pass those out as well. Any questions? So did I answer your questions for the most part throughout the presentation? Did you guys feel like you learned something today?
Yes.
For the,
Yes.
as far as like attending the Irvine campus, do they offer like teacher prep classes at that campus as well?
Yes, they do. And because you were interested in elementary, you said?
Mm-hmm.
You know the major that you might be interested?
I'm really interested in special ed.
Okay.
But I'm confused on how to go about like majoring in.
That's a great question. I'm glad that you brought that up. So it depends.
Okay.
So if you're interested in elementary education just in general, but you're more interested in special education on that realm,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say you want to do mild to moderate
Right.
students, then I would say be a CHAD major, elementary education emphasis, and you can do it that way. Or you can be a human services major,
Right.
and you can major in persons with disabilities, because that major itself, not only will you have a whole bunch of special education courses within that major, but all the courses and additionally other courses that are optional for the special education program are within that are within that particular track.
Okay.
So there's different ways you can get around that.
Okay.
It's really interesting when you start talking about middle school, high school, because middle school and high school, let's say you're majoring in English, but you want to do special education. But let's say you're interested in moderate to severe in middle school and high school.
Right.
Well, will you really be teaching English?
No.
No, but when you take that English CSET, which is that subject matter test, yes, because you do still need to take a test
Right.
in order to get into our credential programs. So, and it just depends on how the district is. Each individual district is different in regards to how they have students for their classrooms. Some it may be a contained classroom.
Right.
Some it may not. Like moderate to severe is most likely going to be a contained classroom. But when it's mild to moderate, that might be different.
Right.
Yeah, so it kind of depends. But if that makes it simple, I'm interested in elementary education, and I want to do mild to moderate, or even if it's moderate to severe, or maybe you're interested in moderate to severe, you would still, but middle school, high school, I would still suggest elementary education because
Yes,
they're going to be
because
on that level.
What's your level?
Right.
That
So,
was the advice I was giving you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else? This is my information. I know I give all of you my cards. And again, thank you for having me, Alicia. Thank you.
Thank you so much.